Hello bicycles, my name is Hottesty and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included, where last time we started our first rocket and then I started another one, and that should bring us research-wise up to this level so we can switch out our steam engine with a petroleum engine plus solid oxidizer tank, and that will be the first step in today's episode. And then I'm hoping to progress through all the rocket stages, so petroleum with LOX, liquid oxygen, and hydrogen with LOX as well. And in order to get liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen, we need a setup, and I am hoping can squeeze that in here. That's why we have leather going here on the wall, so we can get rid of this one, move the tube over as well, so we have a tiny slither of passage here, and we can then move the whole thing as close as possible to our rocket. But first, let's see how our research goes, because we need to finish the research before we dismantle this rocket and get on with the next best thing. For our oxygenate production, we also need gold, and this is where this gold volcano comes in real handy. And as you can see, we are setting up the retrieval here. It's a bit difficult or different because it's quite cold. We have more than minus 100 degrees Celsius temperature here, so that means we cannot use the usual liquid lock, so instead we have a hydrogen lock up here that separates the things outside from the things inside, but that does not yet entirely work as it should. And any water we pump in here would also freeze immediately. So what we will have instead is we'll have snow and ice stored here, and that then will hopefully melt when the volcano spits out its liquid gold. But up here we have to clean out, and then we also have to pump out the gases that are in here, and to do that successfully we will have to seal this off. So before we can pump out the things, we have to make sure that everything in there is ready to go with all the bits and pieces. And on our rocket front, the second stage is ready. We have set this up so we can reach the next outer layer of our asteroid, because from here we can get fullerene, which we need, but what we also need is I'm not quite sure, but fullerene is not the only one. Fullerene we need for the supercoolant, but we also need something for the for the for the insulation, and once we find it, it will come back to me. Hopefully we can find it on a nearby asteroid. With the setup that we have, we can reach, of course, this far out. We can go 2,000 kilometers, and we can reach out 3,000. But if we have to go further out, then we need to add another liquid fuel tank, which is a bit of a hassle. And over here, this is the space that we need for our liquefaction. And then below here, we can have fabrication of the space materials. And I think we should turn this on so the oxalate is actually produced. The gold volcano setup is completed. We just have to wait and see and hope that it actually works. But I think, or I hope kind of, that we are no longer, or not for much longer, in the situation where we need gold for our oxalate production, because as you can see, we have quite a setup going. It's almost ready to kick in to produce liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. Just need a few more pieces here in place. Ideally, all these temp shift plates would be made out of diamond, but we did not have enough, so it's a mix between diamond and we have some with gold, but I think the largest part is gold amalgam. So it's just important that we get a good heat transfer from the gas to the cooling in the pipe. And I think at this point we will need a new rocket because we have, research-wise, I think we are almost there. We have this last one still open. So let's reduce the number of research modules and put in a material, a cargo bay, so we can then actually bring home some goodies, and we will just drop them here. Maybe before we do that, let's finish the rail, and then we can destroy this ladder and place the cargo module. And that's basically the next stage of our rocket. I already adjusted the amount of fuel that we need to reach the asteroids 2,000 kilometers out with the cargo module, and that should give us fullerene and isoresin. That was the material I could not remember, so we can produce supercoolant and insulation. Our liquefying plant is up and running, but we are still missing a few pieces of pipe. We probably could also do with a bit more supercoolant here in the loop, but if we look at the pipes, we have let it out to here, and I think probably the oxygen will go over on this level, but hydrogen we have to bring down to here, and then we will have a second tank here, and then we can have oxygen tank here, and then above we can have cargo base. So until we get the necessary materials for all the pipage, we probably will still be using the oxalate, but I guess we will try to get this pipe in first so we can switch to liquid oxygen as a first step. By this point we have collected a bit of the liquefied gases. As always, the hydrogen takes quite longer, but we can switch to liquid oxygen, and that's why I reshuffled the rocket a bit. We still have one fuel tank for petroleum down here, but then I moved the research module one down and have the liquid oxygen tank up here. All we need to do is connect these two and also down here, so we can actually fill the tanks. And to reach the 2,000 kilometer asteroids, we need less fuel than we would with oxalate. And I think we'll still have to make a few trips. We'll still need more insulation, because this is done, but I think for oxygen or the hydrogen tanks, they cannot hold that much, so we will have two hydrogen tanks down here, and we need pipage going in there, so that's quite a bit. And I assume it will be due to missing reed fiber that the whole process is slowed down. But for now we can launch the next rocket. We open the door. We prepare to dig out any material that falls down, and once that is cleared, we can launch. And finally, we have reached the point where we can switch our rocket to hydrogen. So let's do that and deconstruct the engine, deconstruct this module, because we have here the pipe, so we can fill up two tanks with hydrogen. We have one tank with oxygen, and that should be sufficient for now. I think if we want to go all the way out, we need something different. We can get rid of all the research modules. We need probably more fuel tanks to get there. But with that, we can tank up the rocket with the hydrogen and the oxygen, and as we need more tanks, we probably need a bit more insulation so we can lay the pipes to the tanks, and that will be the topic of the next episode, which will probably be the last one, because now we have basically the ultimate rocket put together, and we can then think about getting all our duplicants off this desolate, tragic meteor. Until then, goodbye!